Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Scarlett, to someone with Ohio ties, I have an Ohio conversation that I want to have with you regarding ozone attainment in the Cleveland area. And I think you may know that in the early 1990s, Ohio implemented a program in the Cleveland area called E-Check. And this is designed to do tailpipe testing to mitigate emissions that would contribute to their lack of attainment of the ozone standard. And and over time, the EPA keeps jacking up the standard, making it harder to attain. But over time, I think this is a great example of things that frustrate people about some regulations, is that it stayed in place. It costs the state and the consumer $14 million a year approximately. And it's an example of something that maybe made sense at one time in the 1990s, has stayed on the books. Emissions from automobiles are cleaner. Many automobiles are electric these days, yet the program goes on. It seemingly had no impact on the standard, the attaining emission standards, because Cleveland is being considered for upgrading from moderate to serious non-attainment. And it's just an example of, like, a regulation gets on the books, a program gets mandated, yet it lives through its life. It doesn't have a lot of impact on improving the overall environmental quality. Yet here it still is, $14 million more a year, the inconvenience of having. Could you just offer some thoughts on that, and would you commit to working with us in Ohio to see if there isn't a better way to do this?
Absolutely. Thank you, Senator Husted. Thank you for our meeting last week as well. I love meeting any fellow Ohioans. That matter is not necessarily within the purview of CEQ, but related. I would like to, talk a little bit about NEPA and how we are kind of applying an approach to a similar statute. When NEPA was passed, the world was vastly different. We have more technology, more resources, more knowledge. So under this administration, we're working hard to take a hard look at the statute and what's required of it. In doing so, we found, agency procedures that date back to the 80s, then are layered with guidance and field memos and decision memos. So we're really trying to work within the NEPA process to consolidate the guidance, have a clear directive that's really disciplined and follows the statute. And I think that that's something the agencies across this administration are going to be looking at when it comes to regulatory reform. And I'm absolutely happy to be a part of any conversation that I can be helpful with to you in the state of Ohio.
Well, thank you. Yes, whether it's whether it's a program like E-Check or NEPA or other things, there are just laws, rules, regulations, compliance standards get on the books, technology changes, but yet the rules and regulations remain the same, even if they don't make sense to the modern, to impact the modern challenges that are before us. So thank you for your willingness to help. I did mention this to you in our conversation and mentioned it to you before the hearing today. I just would like your thoughts, because I hear from people in Ohio who say, hey, we have Army Corps issues, 3 different areas. Is it possible in your role you can help us sort this out and help Ohio have one point of contact for all the issues that we interact with the Army Corps?
Thank you, Senator. CEQ doesn't have any authority in terms of drawing lines for regional districts. However, I am happy to facilitate any conversations that need to happen with the Army Corps to improve the process for your state and all states.
Yeah, and I understand that. It's just you do have an important role where you're in the conversation about how all of these things work in our world. And these are things that, when I talk to the head of the EPA in Ohio, that they just bring up as problems that, you know, they expect us to sort out. They don't, you know, I know when we're in Washington, people talk about whose jurisdiction is it. For them, they just want to get these problems fixed. And so I appreciate your willingness to help us navigate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.